The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission's planning for elections is now stuck in a process that would see an independent company awarded a tender to supply and manage kits for an electronic voter registration system that uses special human features like fingerprints.
There are no boardroom wars, there are no vendor wars or any other kind of wars. What we have is a little bit delay in the procurement process, and the Secretary has given the Commission an assurance that he is on top of it on the issue, and that he will give a report to the Commission by Thursday.
However, sources say the differences are mainly manifested in exchanges between the tender committee and the evaluation committee after the tender committee rejected the recommendation of the evaluation committee. The companies that were shortlisted for that tender first was an Indian company known as 4G Solutions. The second company is a Kenyan company known as Symphony. The third company is a South African company known as Face Technologies. Now, the company that was involved in biometric voter registration during the referendum did not make it to the shortlist. The electronic voter registration tender is worth 3.9 billion shillings. The evaluation committee appointed by the Chief Electoral Officer on 30th March conducted the technical and financial evaluation and submitted its reports on 7th May, recommending that the tender be awarded to the lowest bidder, that is, the Indian company 4G Identity Solutions, that had quoted about 3.7 billion shillings. A due diligence team that included representatives from UNDP and an observer group known as International Foundation for Electoral Systems visited India for a fact-finding mission on the company. However, the tender committee rejected the report that had recommended the Indian company based on a letter from Kenya's Ministry of Foreign Affairs that had raised concerns over the credibility of the company. The evaluation committee nevertheless said the concerns were not worth denying the company the award. The tender committee, after initiating another independent evaluation, recommended the third bidder, that is, Face Technologies of South Africa, that had quoted about 4.5 billion shillings, at least 600 million shillings above the IEBC budget. Sources say some commissioners supported the move based on the argument that despite overquoting, the company had the relevant experience in managing an electronic voter's roll. However, some members in the evaluation committee had raised concerns over its track record in Africa. Questions have also been raised as to why the second lowest bidder, Symphony, that quoted 3.9 billion shillings was overlooked. Amid the controversy, the CEO wrote to the Public Procurement Oversight Authority seeking direction on whether the tender committee was in order to overlook the evaluation committee's report and whether it was right to award the tender to a company that was ranked third. The Oversight Authority has now replied to Oswago's queries, first pointing out anomalies in the advertisement and conflicting information given to bidders. But it says that the tender committee failed to observe its independence from the evaluation team. It also concludes that proper procedures were not followed in awarding the tender to the third highest bidder. Oswago is now set to appoint a new tender committee to continue with the process, and it remains to be seen how the stalemate will be resolved. Alex Chamwada, Citizen Live at 9.